5 minutes until the nursing exam doors close forever. Keisha Williams clutches her admission ticket, her only escape from poverty. The testing center gleams just 50 yards away, but something's wrong on the street. A black Mercedes wrapped around a fire hydrant. Steam rising. Inside, a pregnant woman in designer clothes slumps against the deflated airbag, blood streaming down her face. "Help! My baby!" The woman's swollen belly contracts violently. 7 months pregnant. Alone. In the projects. Why is she here? Phones emerge like weapons. Recording. Watching. No one helps. The woman's breathing grows shallow. Preeclampsia Keisha recognizes the deadly signs from her medical training. 2 minutes left. Keisha stares at her ticket, then at the woman who might lose her child. Her future versus 2 lives hanging in the balance. She drops to her knees beside the car. "I'll save you and your baby." The admission ticket flutters away in the wind. Keisha's hands work steadily, checking the woman's pulse while supporting her neck. "Stay with me. What's your name?" "Eleanor. Eleanor Ashworth." The woman's voice trembles. "Is my baby?" "Your baby's heartbeat is strong, but we need to get you to a hospital now." Keisha applies pressure to the head wound with her jacket. Blood soaks through immediately. The ambulance arrives in a symphony of sirens and flashing lights. Paramedics rush toward them, but Eleanor's grip tightens on Keisha's wrist. "Don't leave me, please." "I'm right here." Keisha climbs into the ambulance. "Ma'am, I have medical training. I can help." The ride to Metro General is a blur of vital signs and whispered prayers. Eleanor's blood pressure spikes dangerously classic preeclampsia. Without immediate intervention, both mother and child could die. "We're losing her," the paramedic shouts as Eleanor's eyes roll back. Keisha positions Eleanor on her left side, elevating her legs. This reduces pressure on the vena cava, helps blood flow to the baby. The paramedic stares. "How do you—" "I'm a nursing student. I was supposed to take my licensing exam today." Eleanor's breathing stabilizes. Her eyes flutter open, finding Keisha's face. You saved us both." At the hospital, emergency teams swarm Eleanor's gurney. Before they wheel her away, she presses something into Keisha's palm, a business card. "I won't forget," Eleanor whispers. "I promise." The bus ride home feels endless. Keisha stares at the crumpled business card. Eleanor Ashworth. Ashworth Medical Foundation. The address is in the city's most exclusive district. Her phone buzzes. Missed calls from her family, 17 of them. The projects loom ahead, concrete towers stretching toward gray clouds. Home sweet home. Keisha climbs 3 flights of broken stairs, past graffiti and the lingering smell of marijuana. Inside apartment 3B, her family waits. Her mother, Patricia, sits at the kitchen table, still in her hospital scrubs from her overnight shift. Her younger brother, Marcus, slouches on the couch, textbook open but eyes fixed on his sister. "How'd it go?" Patricia asks, hope flickering in her tired eyes. Keisha's silence says everything. "You didn't take it." Marcus closes his book with a snap. "Tell me you didn't throw away 4 years of studying for some stranger." She was pregnant, 7 months, having complications. There were paramedics. She would have died, Marcus, her and her baby. Patricia reaches across the table, taking her daughter's hands. "You did the right thing, baby girl." "Did I?" Keisha's voice cracks. "The next exam isn't for 18 months. By then, we'll have lost the apartment, Grandma's medical bills. We'll figure it out." But Patricia's words sound hollow. They both know math. Without Keisha's nursing salary, the family faces eviction within 3 months. Marcus stands abruptly. "Was it worth it? Saving some rich lady who'll never think about you again?" The business card feels heavy in Keisha's pocket. Eleanor Ashworth. That name sounds familiar, but she can't place it. Later that night, Keisha lies awake on the pull-out couch, listening to sirens wail outside. Her grandmother's oxygen concentrator hums from the back bedroom, a constant reminder of mounting medical costs. She pulls out her phone and searches for Eleanor Ashworth. The screen floods with images. Eleanor at charity galas. Eleanor cutting ribbons at hospital openings. Eleanor beside a tall, silver-haired man identified as William Ashworth, tech billionaire and philanthropist. A billionaire's wife. Keisha saved a billionaire's wife. The irony isn't lost on her. She sacrificed her future to save someone who could buy and sell her entire neighborhood without blinking. But in the ambulance, Eleanor hadn't looked like a billionaire's wife. She'd looked like a terrified mother, desperate to save her unborn child. Keisha stares at the business card until her eyes blur. "I won't forget," Eleanor had promised. Rich people make a lot of promises they don't keep. Still, something in Eleanor's eyes had seemed different, genuine. Outside, the city never sleeps. Car horns blend with distant music and shouting, the project's pulse with life harsh, unforgiving, but real. Keisha closes her eyes and tries not to think about the nursing exam she'll never take, about the family depending on her, about the future that slipped away the moment she chose compassion over ambition. Tomorrow, she'll return to double shifts at the diner. She'll pretend the business card doesn't exist. But tonight, she allows herself to wonder, what if Eleanor Ashworth really meant what she said? 3 weeks pass like a slow bleed. Keisha's alarm screams at 4:30 a.m. Another double shift at Metro General, not as a nurse, but mopping floors and emptying bedpans. The same hospital where she saved Eleanor Ashworth's life. She watches real nurses rush past, their scrubs crisp and purposeful. That should be her. Would be her if she hadn't torn up her future for a stranger. "Williams, the trauma bay needs cleaning. Blood everywhere." The supervisor doesn't look up from his clipboard. Keisha grabs her mop bucket. In Trauma Bay 3, she finds the aftermath of a motorcycle accident. Red stains the floor in abstract patterns. She's seen this before too many times. As she works, she overhears the attending physician. "Hemorrhage. Possible internal bleeding. Get me 2 units of O-neg stat." Her hands move automatically, but her mind calculates. Based on the patient's vitals, they need to check for splenic rupture. The blood loss pattern suggests, "Excuse me, you missed a spot." Keisha blinks. She's a janitor, not a nurse, not anything. The afternoon sun beats down mercilessly as Keisha walks 12 blocks to her second job. Gas is too expensive, and the bus routes don't reach Mercy Diner, a greasy spoon that serves coffee strong enough to wake the dead and hope thin enough to disappoint. "You're late." Ruby, the owner, doesn't look up from the grill. "Sorry, the hospital. I don't pay you to have excuses. Table 6 wants their order." Keisha ties her apron and surveys the lunch crowd. Construction workers, taxi drivers, people who pay in crumpled bills and spare change. Her people. She understands this world. At table 6, an elderly man studies the menu with thick glasses. "What's good here, sweetheart?" The coffee's honest. Everything else is edible. She manages a smile. "Meatloaf's fresh today." He laughs, a sound like sandpaper on wood. "Honest coffee, I like that." The afternoon blurs past, orders shouted, plates balanced, tips counted in quarters and singles. Keisha's feet scream in protest, but she doesn't slow down. At 8 p.m., Ruby tallies the register. $63, not bad for a Tuesday. $63 for 12 hours of work. Keisha does the math automatically. At this rate, it would take her 47 years to save enough for nursing school. Home means climbing 3 flights of stairs that wheeze and groan under her weight. The elevator's been broken for 6 months. The landlord promises repairs that never come. Inside apartment 3B, the air hangs thick with the smell of instant noodles and desperation. Marcus sits at the kitchen table, textbooks scattered like fallen leaves. He's 17, sharp as a blade, and angry at the world. "How much today?" he asks without looking up. "Enough." Keisha dumps her tips on the counter, mostly coins, a few bills. "How's Grandma?" "Sleeping. The oxygen tank's almost empty. Each tank costs $97. Insurance covers 60%, leaving them with $38 they don't have. Keisha counts her tips, $41.37. Close enough. In the back bedroom, Grandma Rose sleeps fitfully. At 78, she raised Keisha when Patricia worked double shifts. Now cancer eats her from the inside, one breath at a time. "How are you doing, Grandma?" Keisha whispers. Rose's eyes flutter open, cloudy, but still sharp. "Did you become a nurse today?" The question hits like a physical blow. "Not yet, Grandma. Soon." "Good. The world needs more people like you. People who care." Keisha adjusts the oxygen mask and checks the tank gauge. 3 hours left, maybe 4. Back in the kitchen, an official envelope waits on the table. The return address makes Keisha's stomach drop. Metro Nursing Academy, Admissions Department. Her hands shake as she opens it. "Dear Ms. Williams, we regret to inform you that your missed examination date has resulted in automatic dismissal from the nursing program. Per university policy, reapplication requires an 18-month waiting period and full tuition payment." 18 months. $28,000. Marcus reads over her shoulder. "Well, that's it then." "Don't." "No, seriously. You saved some rich lady, and now we're all screwed. Grandma's dying, Mom's working herself to death, and you're mopping floors for minimum wage." "I said don't." "Why, because it's true?" Marcus slams his hand on the table. "You want to know what I think? I think you're scared. Scared of actually making it, so you sabotaged yourself." The words hang in the air like smoke. Keisha pulls Eleanor's business card from her wallet. She's carried it every day but never called. What would she say? "Hi, remember me? I'm the girl who threw away her future for you. Mind returning the favor?" Pride is expensive. Maybe too expensive. Outside, the projects settle into their nightly rhythm. Music from competing stereos, children playing in hallways, the distant wail of sirens' urban lullabies that promise nothing and deliver less. Keisha stares at the business card until the words blur. Tomorrow she'll work another double shift. Tomorrow she'll pretend this envelope doesn't exist. But tonight, for the first time in 3 weeks, she allows herself to wonder, what if Eleanor Ashworth meant what she said? Thursday morning arrives gray and unforgiving. Keisha stumbles out of bed at 4:15 a.m., muscles screaming from yesterday's double shift. The oxygen concentrator hums its mechanical lullaby from Grandma Rose's room. She's pulling on her work uniform when Marcus shouts from the kitchen. "Keisha, you need to see this!" Through the grimy window, a pristine white Rolls-Royce Phantom sits parked outside their building like a spaceship that crash-landed in the wrong galaxy. Chrome gleams against the backdrop of cracked concrete and rust-stained fire escapes. Children press their faces against apartment windows. Mrs. Rodriguez from 2A stands on her balcony, phone out, recording. Even the corner dealers have stopped mid-transaction to stare. "What the hell?" Marcus breathes. A uniformed chauffeur emerges from the driver's seat, tall, professional, completely out of place. He straightens his tie and approaches their building with purpose. Keisha's heart pounds. The business card. Eleanor's promise. 3 sharp knocks echo through their thin door. Patricia appears from the bathroom, hair half-styled for her shift at the hospital. "Who knocks like that?" Keisha opens the door to find the chauffeur holding an enormous bouquet of white roses and an envelope sealed with gold wax. "Miss Keisha Williams?" His voice carries a British accent that sounds like money. That's me." From Mrs. Eleanor Ashworth. She requests your presence this afternoon, if you're available. He hands her the flowers and envelope with practiced grace. I'll wait for your response. The hallway fills with neighbors pretending to check their mail. Mrs. Johnson from across the hall doesn't even pretend she stands in her doorway, arms crossed, watching the show. Back inside, Keisha's hands tremble as she opens the envelope. The paper feels expensive, heavy with significance. Dearest Keisha, 3 weeks ago, you saved my life and my son's life. I promised I wouldn't forget, and I kept my promises. Please join me for lunch today at 2 p.m. My driver will wait for your answer. There's something I'd like to discuss with you. With deepest gratitude, Eleanor Ashworth, P.S. Henry, my son, is healthy and beautiful thanks to you. Patricia reads over her shoulder. Henry? The baby. She named him Henry. Marcus snatches the letter. This is crazy. Rich people don't do this. They write checks and forget. But Keisha remembers Eleanor's eyes in the ambulance, desperate, grateful, human. This doesn't feel like charity. It feels like something else entirely. She tells the chauffeur she'll need 20 minutes. The ride to the Ashworth estate passes in surreal silence. Keisha sits in leather seats that probably cost more than her family's monthly rent, watching the city transform outside bulletproof windows. The projects give way to middle-class neighborhoods, then affluent suburbs, finally arriving at an exclusive enclave where houses hide behind iron gates and manicured hedges. The Ashworth mansion rises like something from a movie white stone, soaring columns, windows that sparkle like diamonds. The circular driveway could fit her entire apartment building. Guards wave them through the gates. The chauffeur opens her door with practiced courtesy. Mrs. Ashworth is waiting in the garden, miss. A uniformed maid leads Keisha through rooms that belong in museums. Original paintings, marble floors, crystal chandeliers that catch and scatter light like captured stars. The garden stretches beyond the house roses in perfect rows, a fountain that sings with falling water, pathways that wind between sculptures worth more than most people's houses. And there, sitting beneath a white pavilion beside a bassinet, is Eleanor Ashworth. She looks different than the bleeding, terrified woman from the car accident. Elegant, composed. But when she sees Keisha, her face transforms with genuine joy. You came. Eleanor rises, moving carefully. She's still recovering. I wasn't sure you would. Inside the bassinet, baby Henry sleeps peacefully, pink-cheeked, healthy, alive. This is Henry, Eleanor whispers, her voice soft with wonder. The son you helped save. Keisha stares at the baby, overwhelmed. 3 weeks ago, he was dying in his mother's womb. Now he's here, breathing, dreaming, perfect. He's beautiful. He is. And he's alive because of what you did. Eleanor's eyes shine with unshed tears. Both of us are. Eleanor gestures toward an elegant table set for two beneath the pavilion. Crystal glasses catch the afternoon sunlight, casting rainbow patterns across white linen. Please sit. We have much to discuss. As they settle into chairs that probably cost more than Keisha makes in 6 months, a man approaches from the house. Tall, silver-haired, wearing a suit that whispers wealth in every thread. William Ashworth, tech billionaire, philanthropist, and Eleanor's husband. His expression is harder to read than his wife's. So, you're the young woman who saved my family. He extends his hand. William Ashworth. Keisha shakes it, fighting the urge to check if her palms are sweaty. Keisha Williams, sir. Please call me William. But his tone suggests he's still evaluating her. Eleanor reaches over and touches Keisha's arm. Tell me about yourself. I want to know everything about the person who sacrificed her future for strangers. Heat creeps up Keisha's neck. I didn't sacrifice anything. I just did what anyone should do. Anyone should, but most people don't. William's voice is measured, analytical. Our security cameras caught the entire incident. 17 people walked past Eleanor's car. 17. Only you stopped. The weight of that number settles between them. Eleanor leans forward. I need you to understand something. What happened to me wasn't just a car accident. I was having severe preeclampsia, a condition that kills mothers and babies every day. Without immediate medical intervention. She doesn't finish. She doesn't need to. The doctor said you performed a textbook emergency response, William continues. Positioned Eleanor correctly, monitored her breathing, and recognized the symptoms immediately. How? I studied emergency obstetrics, was going to specialize in high-risk pregnancies. The words taste bitter. Before I missed my licensing exam, Eleanor and William exchange a look that speaks volumes. Why were you in our neighborhood? Keisha asks suddenly. I mean, no offense, but that area. Eleanor's composure cracks slightly. I was visiting someone I'd lost touch with. A family matter. Her voice carries old pain. It doesn't matter now. What matters is that you were there when I needed you most. William pulls out an iPad, fingers dancing across the screen. Your academic records are impressive. Top 5% of your class. Dean's list every semester. Glowing recommendations from professors. Keisha's stomach drops. How did you... We researched you. Standard practice. William's expression softens slightly. We don't make major decisions without information. Major decisions? Eleanor reaches into the bassinet and lifts Henry, who stirs but doesn't wake. My husband and I have been discussing how to properly thank you. Money seems insufficient. We'd like to offer you something more meaningful, William says. A chance to complete your education and pursue your calling. Keisha's heart hammers. I don't understand. Full scholarship to complete your nursing degree, room and board covered, books, supplies, everything. Eleanor's voice is steady, but her eyes shine with excitement. Plus a guaranteed position at our medical foundation upon graduation. The garden spins around Keisha. That's over $30,000. Money we spend without thinking, William says bluntly. You saved something money can't buy my family. I can't accept charity. The words come out sharper than Keisha intended. I'm sorry, but I don't take handouts. Eleanor and William exchange another look. What if it wasn't charity? Eleanor asks carefully. What if you earned it? How? William leans back in his chair. Our foundation runs several medical outreach programs, free clinics, mobile health units, emergency response training. We need someone with your skills and background to help coordinate medical services. Part-time work while you complete your degree, Eleanor adds. 20 hours a week, real responsibility, real impact, real salary. Keisha's mind races. You're offering me a job? We're offering you a partnership, William corrects. You understand the communities we serve because you come from them. You know what it's like to choose between medication and rent, between doctor visits and groceries. Most importantly, Eleanor says, shifting Henry to her other arm, you've proven you put saving lives above personal gain. That's exactly who we need running our community health initiatives. The offer hangs in the air like a bridge between two worlds. Why? Keisha whispers. Really, why would you do this? Eleanor is quiet for a long moment, studying her son's sleeping face. 3 weeks ago, I was visiting my daughter, my first daughter. I never told you about her. William's jaw tightens, but he doesn't interrupt. Sarah was 22, struggled with addiction, lived in the projects not far from where you found me. Eleanor's voice wavers. She overdosed that morning. I was driving back from identifying her body. The truth hits like a physical blow. Eleanor wasn't just a rich woman slumming it in the wrong neighborhood. She was a grieving mother. The accident happened because I was crying. Couldn't see the road clearly. Eleanor's tears fall freely now. I was ready to die, ready to join Sarah. But then you appeared. William reaches over and takes his wife's free hand. You saved my life when I didn't want to be saved, Eleanor continues. Reminded me I had another child to live for. Henry exists because you chose compassion over convenience. Keisha wipes her own eyes, overwhelmed. So this isn't charity, William says firmly. This is recognition, investment in someone who embodies everything our foundation stands for. There's one condition, Eleanor adds with a watery smile. You have to promise to call me Eleanor. None of this Mrs. Ashworth business. We're family now. Keisha looks around the garden at the impossible luxury, the sleeping baby, the two people offering to change her life forever. 3 weeks ago, she was nobody special, a nursing student from the projects with big dreams and empty pockets. Now she's sitting in a billionaire's garden, being offered a future she never dared imagine. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Eleanor whispers. Say you'll let us do for you what you did for us. Save a life. Henry chooses that moment to wake up, blinking up at his mother with dark, curious eyes. He's perfect, healthy, alive, because Keisha made an impossible choice 3 weeks ago. Yes. The word comes out as a whisper, then stronger. Yes, I'll do it. Eleanor's smile could power the entire city. Welcome to the family, Keisha Williams. For the first time in weeks, Keisha allows herself to believe in second chances. 2 months later, Keisha's life has transformed beyond recognition. Her new apartment near Metropolitan Nursing College is small but clean worlds away from the projects. Sunlight streams through windows that actually open. The refrigerator hums quietly, stocked with food that doesn't come from a can. She video calls her family every morning. Today, Patricia appears on screen in their old kitchen, but something's different. New appliances gleam in the background. The foundation paid off Grandma's medical bills, Patricia says, tears in her eyes. All of them. She's getting better care now. Real care. Marcus leans into frame, wearing a new school uniform. I got into St. Augustine Prep. Full scholarship. Eleanor said academic excellence runs in families. Keisha's throat tightens. Eleanor didn't just save her, she lifted up everyone she loves. At Metropolitan, professors treat her with newfound respect. Her advisor, Dr. Martinez, reviews her course load with enthusiasm. Emergency obstetrics, pediatric care, community health nursing, an ambitious schedule for someone starting mid-semester. I have catching up to do. Keisha adjusts her crisp new textbooks. They still smell like possibilities. The Ashworth Foundation specifically requested you for their practicum program. That's unprecedented. Dr. Martinez studies her file. What exactly did you do to earn their attention? The right thing at the right time. 3 afternoons a week, Keisha works at the Foundation's downtown clinic. It's in the heart of the projects, her old neighborhood, but she sees it differently now. Not as a trap, but as a community that needs healing. Today, she assists Dr. Brooks with prenatal checkups. Mrs. Rodriguez from her old building sits on the examination table, 5 months pregnant and terrified. Mija, is that you? Keisha from 3B? Mrs. Rodriguez's face lights up. I heard about you and that rich lady. You're famous around here. Just lucky. Keisha checks her blood pressure elevated but manageable. How are you feeling? Scared. This baby, I'm 42. Too old for this. You're perfect for this. Keisha meets her eyes. We'll take good care of you. Both of you. That evening, Keisha returns to the Ashworth estate for dinner, a weekly tradition Eleanor insisted upon. The dining room could seat 30, but they prefer the cozy breakfast nook overlooking the garden. Henry, now 4 months old, babbles from his high chair, reaching for everything with chubby fingers. When he sees Keisha, he squeals with delight. "He lights up whenever you visit," Eleanor observes. "I think you're his favorite person." Smart kid. William sets down his phone, unusual for him during family time. "I've been fielding calls about you all week." Good calls or bad calls? Excellent calls. The clinic's patient satisfaction scores have skyrocketed since you started. People trust you. Eleanor bounces Henry on her lap. "They should. You saved their neighbor's life." Word spreads fast in tight communities. Through the window, the garden glows in golden hour light. 6 months ago, Keisha was mopping floors and counting quarters. Now she's studying advanced maternal care and building trust in communities that hospitals had forgotten. But something in William's expression suggests change is coming. His phone keeps buzzing with calls he's ignoring, a first since she's known him. Eleanor notices too. "What aren't you telling us?" William's jaw tightens. Marcus Reed has been asking questions about the foundation's finances, and about you, Keisha. The name means nothing to her, but Eleanor's face goes pale. He's back? He never really left. The first blow comes on a Wednesday morning. Keisha is reviewing patient files at the foundation clinic when her phone explodes with notifications. Text messages, missed calls, news alerts, all bearing the same devastating headline. Nursing student under investigation for fraudulent claims. Her hands shake as she opens the lead article from Channel 7 News. Keisha Williams, 22, is under investigation by the State Nursing Board for allegedly fabricating her role in a medical emergency 3 months ago. Sources claim Williams exaggerated her actions to gain financial benefit from the wealthy Ashworth family. The room spins. Keisha grabs the desk to steady herself as she continues reading. Anonymous complaints filed with the board suggest Williams may have staged elements of the incident to appear heroic. The complainant alleges Williams violated medical protocols by treating a patient without proper certification, potentially endangering lives. Dr. Brooks appears at her cubicle, face grim. "Keisha, we need to talk." His office feels like a tomb. Official letterhead from the State Nursing Board sits on his desk, crisp, white, damning. "They're demanding a full investigation," Dr. Brooks says quietly. "Until it's resolved, you're suspended from all medical activities. No clinic work, no patient contact." "This is insane. I saved Eleanor's life." "I know. But the board has to investigate any formal complaint. Their hands are tied." "Who would do this?" But even as she asks, Keisha suspects the answer. The Ashworth estate feels different when she arrives that afternoon. Security guards she's never seen before patrol the gates. William meets her at the door, his usual composure cracked. "We've been expecting you." He leads her to his study, all dark wood and leather-bound books. Eleanor sits in a chair by the window, Henry sleeping in her arms, but she looks like she's aged years in hours. "Marcus Reed," William says without preamble. "Eleanor's former friend. He filed the complaint." "Friend?" Keisha looks between them. Eleanor's voice is barely a whisper. "He asked me to marry him 15 years ago. I chose William instead. Marcus never forgave either of us." William pulls up news footage on his laptop. A well-dressed man in his 50s stands outside the State Nursing Board building, speaking confidently to reporters, handsome in a cold way, with eyes that calculate rather than feel. "Reed's been circling us for years," William continues, "looking for weakness, a way to damage our foundation, our family, our reputation." "But why target me?" "Because you're our weakness now," Eleanor says, tears streaming. "We love you like family. Hurt you, hurt us." On screen, Reed speaks with practiced authority. "The Ashworth Foundation claims to serve the community, but they're really serving themselves. Tax breaks, publicity, and now apparently buying loyalty from young people desperate for money. This investigation will reveal the truth about their so-called charity work. Keisha's phone buzzes. A text from Marcus. Saw the news. This is what happens when you trust rich people. Come home. There's more, William says grimly. He pulls up financial documents on his screen. Reed's been buying up medical contracts around the city. He wants to privatize emergency services, charge premium rates for what we provide free. If he can prove our foundation is corrupt, Eleanor adds, he gets our government contracts, millions of dollars in funding that currently goes to free clinics. Keisha stares at the documents. So I'm just collateral damage? You're the key to everything, William corrects. Reed needs to prove you're a fraud to discredit us. If the board finds against you, it undermines every program we fund. The weight of it crashes over her. Hundreds of patients who depend on free clinics. Families like hers who can't afford private health care. Children who need vaccines. Mothers who need prenatal care. Elderly people who choose between medicine and meals. What evidence does he have? William's expression darkens. Security footage from the intersection is missing. Traffic cameras mysteriously malfunctioned that day. The paramedics who responded have been transferred to different stations. Someone's been very thorough, Eleanor adds bitterly. But there are witnesses. People saw what happened. Poor people. William's bluntness cuts deep. Reed's lawyers will paint them as unreliable. Drug users, criminals, people who'd say anything for money. Keisha thinks of Mrs. Rodriguez, of the construction workers who stopped to watch, of the teenagers with their phones out. In Reed's world, their testimony means nothing. The hearing is next week, William continues. If the board rules against you, they'll recommend criminal charges, practicing medicine without a license, fraud, endangering a patient. Criminal charges? Keisha's voice cracks. Prison time. Permanent ban from healthcare. Your nursing career is over before it starts. Eleanor shifts Henry to her other arm, her movements careful and deliberate. We won't let that happen. At that. Yeah, how can you stop it? We're working on that, William says, but his tone lacks confidence. That evening, Keisha walks through her old neighborhood. News vans line the streets, reporters hunting for quotes, neighbors who remember the girl from 3B who made it out. Mrs. Rodriguez waves from her window, 7 months pregnant now, glowing with health. Mija, don't listen to what they say on TV. We know what you did. But doubt creeps in as Keisha climbs the familiar stairs to apartment 3B. What if she'd made a mistake that day? What if her inexperience had made things worse? What if Reed is right? Inside, her family waits with grim faces. Pack your things, Patricia says without greeting. You're moving back home. Mom. This association with those people is destroying you. I should never have let you get involved with them. Marcus sits at the kitchen table, laptop open to the news coverage. They're saying you might go to prison. Prison, Keisha. I saved a woman's life. A woman's... You saved a rich woman who's now abandoning you, Patricia shoots back. Where are the Ashworths now? Why aren't they defending you publicly? The question hangs unanswered because Keisha doesn't know. William mentioned working on it, but what does that mean? Behind-the-scenes phone calls? Political pressure? Legal maneuvering? Nothing that helps her sleep at night. They love me, she says weakly. Love doesn't pay legal bills, Marcus replies. Love doesn't keep you out of prison. Through the thin walls, Keisha hears neighbors arguing about her. Some defending, others condemning. The projects have turned into a battleground, and she's standing in the crossfire. Her phone buzzes with a text from Eleanor. Don't lose faith. We're family. Family protects family. But as Keisha stares out at the city lights, she wonders if love is enough to overcome money, power, and a system designed to protect people like Marcus Reed while crushing people like her. Tomorrow she'll face reporters. Next week she'll face the nursing board. Tonight, she faces the possibility that choosing compassion over self-preservation was the biggest mistake of her life. 3 days before the hearing, Keisha sits in the Ashworth Estates library, surrounded by legal documents and newspaper clippings. Her eyes are red from crying and sleepless nights. Eleanor enters quietly, carrying baby Henry and a steaming cup of coffee. "You haven't eaten today," Eleanor observes, setting down a plate of sandwiches. "It's hard to have an appetite when you're facing prison." Keisha's voice is hollow. "Maybe I should just confess. Say I exaggerated my role. Take a plea deal." "Absolutely not." William's voice cuts through the room as he strides in, tablet in hand. "Reed would love that. It would validate every lie he's told. But what if I really did make mistakes that day? What if—" "Stop." Eleanor sits beside her, Henry gurgling happily. "You saved our lives, both of us. That's not opinion, it's medical fact." William pulls up a chair, his expression more determined than Keisha has ever seen. "I've been investigating Reed for the past week. Want to know what I found?" He opens his tablet, revealing financial records. 3 months ago, Reed purchased a controlling stake in Metro Medical Services, the largest private ambulance company in the state. So if he destroys our foundation's credibility, the city will cancel our emergency response contracts. Guess who gets them? William's smile is cold. Reed stands to make $15 million annually from services we currently provide for free. Eleanor's face hardens. "This was never about me or what happened that day. It's about money. Always is, with Reed." William continues scrolling through documents. "But here's the interesting part. He's been planning this for months. The complaint against you was filed the day after the accident was reported in the news." Keisha looks up sharply. "Up. The day after? But how could he know details about what happened?" "Exactly." William's eyes gleam. "How could he know enough to file a detailed complaint unless he was already watching us?" A chill runs down Keisha's spine. "You think he's been spying on your family?" "I think Marcus Reed is desperate," Eleanor says quietly. "Desperate men do dangerous things." William pulls up another screen security footage from various locations around the city. "I hired a private investigator to trace Reed's movements. Look at this." The grainy footage shows Reed meeting with various officials, nursing board members, city councilors, hospital administrators. All lunch meetings, all cash payments visible. He's been buying influence, Keisha realizes, for months. But there's something else. William fast-forwards through the footage. "The investigator found this from the morning of your accident." The screen shows Reed's car parked 3 blocks from the intersection where Eleanor crashed. Timestamp, 7:43 m, 20 minutes before the accident occurred. "He was there," Eleanor breathes. "He was watching you," William corrects. "Following you. The question is why?" Eleanor's face goes pale. "Sarah. He knew I was visiting Sarah that morning." "Your daughter?" "I'd been visiting her every week for months, trying to help her get clean. Same time, same route." Eleanor's voice shakes. "If Reed was following me—" "He knew your routine," Keisha finishes. "He knew you'd be vulnerable, emotional after visiting her." William nods grimly. The accident might not have been an accident. The room falls silent except for Henry's soft babbling. "You think he caused the crash?" Keisha's voice is barely a whisper. "I think he created the conditions for it," William says carefully. "Distracted drivers, construction zones with confusing signs, a route that forced you through the projects where he knew no one would help quickly." Eleanor stands abruptly, pacing to the window. "He wanted me hurt. I wanted our family destroyed." But his plan backfired, Keisha realizes, because I stopped to help. Exactly. So now he's trying to destroy you to complete what he started. William closes the tablet. The question is, how do we prove it? Eleanor turns from the window, her expression resolute. The same way we prove everything else. With evidence. What evidence? The traffic cameras are gone, the paramedics transferred. Not all the evidence. Eleanor's smile is sharp. Reed may have bought off officials, but he can't buy off everyone. William catches on first. The hospital records. Dr. Martinez was the attending physician that day. She documented everything: your response time, the specific medical interventions you performed, my condition when I arrived. Eleanor's voice grows stronger. Medical records don't lie. And there's something else, William adds, pulling up his phone. Our investigator found the original 911 call recording. The dispatcher who took the call remembers it clearly because the caller, Keisha, provided such detailed medical information. They keep those recordings? For 7 years, and they're admissible in court. For the first time in days, hope flickers in Keisha's chest. So we fight back. We fight back, Eleanor confirms. But we need more. Reed's lawyers will argue that hospital records can be interpreted in different ways, that 911 calls don't prove competence. William stands, straightening his tie with military precision. Then we get more. Reed thinks he's been clever, but rich men leave paper trails, bank records, phone logs, travel receipts. If he's been orchestrating this conspiracy, there will be evidence. What do you need me to do? Keisha asks. Eleanor takes her hand. Trust us, and prepare to tell your story, the real story, in front of the nursing board, the media, anyone who'll listen. I'm scared. Good. William's smile is fierce. Fear keeps you sharp. Fear keeps you, and we're going to need you very sharp to take down Marcus Reed. The state nursing board hearing room buzzes with tension. Reporters line the back walls, cameras positioned for maximum drama. Keisha sits at a small table facing a panel of 5 stern-faced board members, her hands folded to hide their trembling. Across the aisle, Marcus Reed commands attention in a perfectly tailored suit, flanked by 3 expensive lawyers. He projects confidence, power, the certainty of a man who's never lost a battle that mattered. Board Chair Dr. Patricia Hendricks calls the session to order. We're here to investigate allegations against Ms. Keisha Williams regarding unauthorized medical practice and potential fraud. Mr. Reed, as the complainant, please present your case. Reed rises with theatrical precision. Thank you, Dr. Hendricks. What we have here is a clear case of an unqualified individual exploiting a medical emergency for personal gain. He activates a presentation screen. Ms. Williams was a nursing student, emphasis on student, with no legal authority to provide medical care. Yet she inserted herself into a life-threatening situation, potentially endangering both Eleanor Ashworth and her unborn child. Keisha's stomach drops as Reed displays her academic transcripts, highlighting her incomplete status. Furthermore, Reed continues, Ms. Williams then leveraged this incident to secure substantial financial benefits from the grateful Ashworth family. Full scholarship, luxury apartment, employment totaling over $50,000 in compensation. Murmurs ripple through the audience. Reed's presentation makes her look like a calculating opportunist. The pattern is clear. Stage heroic intervention, reap financial rewards. This board must send a message that such exploitation will not be tolerated. Dr. Hendricks nods gravely. Ms. Williams, how do you respond to these allegations? Keisha stands on unsteady legs. I saved a woman's life. Her baby's life. That's all I did. Without proper certification, Reed interjects smoothly, in direct violation of state medical practice laws. I used basic first aid. You diagnosed preeclampsia, Reed cuts her off. You positioned the patient, monitored vital signs, made medical decisions, all actions requiring licensed supervision. The board members exchange concerned looks. Reed is winning. Mr. Reed, Dr. Hendricks says, do you have evidence supporting your fraud allegations? I do. Reed signals his lead attorney, who produces a thick folder. Financial records showing the Ashworth family's payments to Ms. Williams began immediately after the incident. No waiting period, no verification of need, suspicious timing that suggests pre-arrangement. Keisha's heart pounds. He's twisting everything, making kindness look like conspiracy. Additionally, Reed continues, we have statements from medical professionals questioning Ms. Williams's account of events. The paramedics who responded report finding Mrs. Ashworth in stable condition, not the life-threatening emergency Ms. Williams claims to have managed. Those paramedics were transferred, Keisha says desperately. They're not here to testify. Precisely my point, Reed smiles coldly. Convenient disappearances of key witnesses. The Ashworth family's influence is well documented. Dr. Hendricks checks her watch. Mr. Reed, do you have additional evidence? One final point. Traffic camera footage from the intersection mysteriously vanished the day after the incident. Someone with considerable resources ensured no independent verification of events would be possible. The implication hangs heavy. The Ashworths destroyed evidence to protect their fabricated story. Ms. Williams, Dr. Hendricks says sternly, these are serious allegations. Do you have any evidence supporting your version of events? Keisha's mouth goes dry. This is it, the moment everything depends on. I do. The doors at the back of the room open with a bang. William Ashworth strides in, Eleanor beside him carrying baby Henry, followed by Dr. Maria Martinez from Metro General and a woman Keisha doesn't recognize. I'm sorry we're late, William announces. Traffic was terrible. Reed's confident expression flickers. This is highly irregular. The Ashworths have no standing in this proceeding. Actually, we do, Eleanor says, approaching the front. As the alleged victim of Ms. Williams's supposed misconduct, we have every right to testify. Dr. Hendricks looks flustered. This is unprecedented. So is attempting to destroy an innocent young woman's life for financial gain, William replies sharply. Reed's lead attorney stands. Objection! This is not a court of law. These witnesses haven't been sworn. Then let's swear at them, Dr. Hendricks decides. I want to hear what Mrs. Ashworth has to say. Eleanor takes the witness chair, Henry sleeping peacefully in her arms. 3 months ago, I was dying. My son was dying. Keisha Williams saved both our lives. That's hearsay, Reed's attorney protests. No, Dr. Martinez steps forward. It's a medical fact. I'm Dr. Maria Martinez, attending physician the day Mrs. Ashworth was brought to Metro General. I have her complete medical records. She produces a thick file. Mrs. Ashworth arrived in a severe preeclampsia crisis. Blood pressure, 180/120, protein in urine, signs of placental abruption. Without immediate intervention, both mother and baby would have died within minutes. The room falls silent. The paramedics' report shows Mrs. Ashworth positioned correctly for optimal blood flow, with clear evidence of skilled pre-hospital care. Someone with medical training saved her life before we ever saw her. Reed shifts uncomfortably. Medical records can be interpreted. There's more, William interrupts. He signals the unknown woman who approaches with a tablet. This is Jennifer Walsh, forensic accountant. She's been investigating Mr. Reed's financial activities. Reed's face goes ashen. This is a fishing expedition. Show them, William says quietly. Walsh activates her presentation. 3 months ago, Marcus Reed purchased controlling interest in Metro Medical Services, the city's largest private ambulance company. If the Ashworth Foundation loses its emergency response contracts, Mr. Reed stands to profit $15 million annually. Gasps echo through the room. Furthermore, Walsh continues, Mr. Reed's financial records show payments totaling $47,000 to various city officials in the past 6 months, including 2 members of this nursing board. Dr. Hendricks stares in shock. That's a serious accusation. With serious proof. Walsh displays bank records, receipts, phone logs. Mr. Reed has been orchestrating this entire investigation to eliminate his business competition. Reed shoots to his feet. Reed shoots. This is preposterous. I filed a legitimate complaint. Based on what evidence? Eleanor asks pointedly. You weren't there. You didn't see what happened. But somehow you knew enough details to file a complaint the day after the incident was reported. I read the news reports. There were no news reports until a week later, William says smoothly. I have the media timeline right here. The trap snaps shut. Reed's mouth opens and closes soundlessly. Dr. Martinez steps forward again. There's one more piece of evidence, the original 911 recording from that morning. She produces a small device. The dispatcher who took Keisha's call documented that she provided detailed, accurate medical information about preeclampsia symptoms, information only someone with real medical training would know. The recording plays through the room's speakers. 911, what's your emergency? I need an ambulance immediately. Pregnant woman, approximately 28 weeks, showing signs of severe preeclampsia. Blood pressure appears dangerously elevated, possible placental complications. I'm maintaining my left lateral position to optimize blood flow. Keisha's voice, young but confident, rattling off medical terminology with precision. The room erupts. Reporters shout questions. Board members confer frantically. Reed's lawyers whisper urgently in his ear. Dr. Hendricks bangs her gavel repeatedly. Order! Order! When quiet returns, she fixes Reed with a withering stare. Mr. Reed, it appears your complaint was filed in bad faith. This board will be recommending you for investigation regarding bribery and conspiracy charges. Reed's face turns purple. You can't prove... We can prove everything, William says calmly. Bank records, phone logs, security footage showing you following my wife for weeks before the accident. Following her? Dr. Hendricks demands. Eleanor's voice is ice. He knew my routine visiting my daughter. He knew I'd be emotional, vulnerable. The accident wasn't random. The full scope of Reed's manipulation crashes over the room like a wave. Dr. Hendricks turns to Keisha, her expression completely transformed. Ms. Williams, this board owes you an apology. Your actions that day were not only appropriate but heroic. Furthermore, she continues, we recommend immediate advancement to full nursing certification, with commendation for exceptional performance under pressure. The room explodes in applause. Eleanor laughs through tears, Henry waking up and adding his voice to the celebration. Reed slumps in his chair, defeated. His lawyers are already packing, distancing themselves from the wreckage. Justice has been served, Dr. Hendricks declares. This hearing is adjourned. As reporters swarm and cameras flash, Keisha feels Eleanor's arms around her, feels Henry's tiny hand grab her finger. I told you, Eleanor whispers. You, Eleanor. Family protects family. 6 months later, the Metro General Hospital auditorium sparkles with celebration. Graduation day for the accelerated nursing program, and Keisha Williams stands at the podium in crisp white scrubs, her cap perfectly positioned, a golden honor cord draped across her shoulders. Class of 2024, she begins, her voice steady and strong. We chose a profession that demands everything, our hearts, our minds, our unwavering commitment to healing. In the front row, Eleanor beams with pride, holding 10-month-old Henry, who claps his chubby hands at the sound of Keisha's voice. William sits beside them, his usual stoic expression softened by unmistakable joy. Behind them, Patricia wipes tears from her eyes. Marcus, now a sophomore at St. Augustine Prep, grins widely. Even Grandma Rose, in her wheelchair but cancer-free for 3 months, manages a proud smile. We learned that medicine isn't just about protocols and procedures, Keisha continues. It's about seeing humanity in every patient, dignity in every life, hope in every healing moment. The audience listens in rapt attention. Half of them know her story. The nursing student who risked everything to save strangers and discovered that kindness creates unexpected families. My professors taught me anatomy and pharmacology, but life taught me something more important. When we lift others up, we all rise together. Applause thunders through the auditorium. After the ceremony, the Ashworth family gathers in the garden of their estate, the same pavilion where Keisha first held baby Henry, where Eleanor offered her a future she'd never dared imagine. To Keisha, William raises his champagne glass, the newest director of emergency medical services for the Ashworth Foundation. Director? Keisha almost drops her glass. I thought I was starting as a staff nurse. Eleanor laughs, bouncing Henry on her lap. The board voted unanimously. Who better to run our emergency programs than someone who embodies their mission? But I just graduated. You've been leading for months, William interrupts. The community clinic's patient satisfaction scores are the highest in the state. Maternal mortality rates in the projects have dropped 40% since you started working there. Keisha stares at the man who once evaluated her with cool calculation, now looking at her with genuine respect and affection. Besides, Eleanor adds with a mischievous smile, Henry needs his big sister to stay close. Don't you, sweetie? As if on cue, Henry reaches toward Keisha, babbling, KK, his first clear word. Keisha takes him, and he immediately calms, content in her arms. This baby she helped save has become her anchor, her reminder that split-second choices can reshape entire worlds. True wealth, Eleanor says softly, watching them together, is measured by the lives you lift. The phrase has become their family motto, etched on a plaque by the foundation's front entrance, spoken at every board meeting and lived daily through their work. As evening settles over the garden, Keisha rocks Henry gently, humming an old lullaby Grandma Rose used to sing. The baby's eyes flutter closed, completely trusting, completely safe. 6 months ago, she was a girl from the projects with impossible dreams. Today, she's Dr. Keisha Williams, Director of Emergency Medical Services, guardian angel to an entire community. Tomorrow, she'll start her new position, overseeing mobile clinics and emergency response teams that serve the forgotten neighborhoods where she grew up. But tonight, surrounded by the family she gained by choosing compassion over convenience, Keisha allows herself to simply be grateful. Sometimes the biggest risks yield the greatest rewards. Sometimes love really does conquer all. 5 years later, Dr. Keisha Williams stands outside Metropolitan Nursing College, watching a new generation of students rush toward their final exams. The morning sun casts familiar shadows across the cracked sidewalk where her life changed forever. A young Latina woman, barely 20, hurries past clutching her admission ticket. She pauses at the same crosswalk where Keisha once made an impossible choice. Across the street, an elderly man stumbles and falls, groceries scattering across the asphalt. Cars slow but don't stop. Pedestrians check their phones, stepping around him. The young woman looks at her ticket, then at the fallen man. Her expression mirrors the same agonizing decision Keisha faced 5 years ago. Keisha approaches quietly. What's your name? Maria Santos. I'm late for my nursing exam. I know. Keisha's voice is gentle. I stood in this exact spot once. I had to choose between my future and helping a stranger. Maria's eyes widen with recognition. You're Dr. Williams. You're Dr. From the Ashworth Foundation. I am, and I'm here to tell you something important. Keisha places a hand on Maria's shoulder. True wealth isn't what you achieve for yourself. It's measured by the lives you lift. Maria looks at the elderly man, then at her ticket, then back at Keisha. Without hesitation, she tears the ticket in half and runs to help. Keisha smiles, pulling out her phone. Eleanor, I found our next scholarship recipient. Some cycles are meant to continue. Some choices echo through generations. Some moments of kindness reshape the world. If this story inspired you to believe in the power of compassion, hit that like button and subscribe for more uplifting tales. Share your own acts of kindness in the comments below, because every story of love shared makes the world a little brighter.
Reality isn't always easy to hear, but that's exactly why we tell it. At Black Voices Uncut, we go beyond the surface, showing what others won't. If you value unfiltered truth, hit like, comment your perspective, and subscribe. Every voice matters, and every truth deserves to be heard.